Rogue One is many people's favorite Star Wars movie when it comes to the Disney era. Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see it, but for me personally, I was always left a bit cold by the movie. So when I heard that they were going to do a prequel series based on one of the main characters of Rogue One, I was skeptical. But it's finally here. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the first 3 episodes of Andor. A prequel series to Star Wars Rogue One, Andor is set in an era filled with danger, deception, and intrigue. Cassian will embark on the path that is destined to turn him into a rebel hero. The series stars Diego Luna, Stellan Skarsgård, Genevieve O'Reilly, and Adria Arjona. I'm not going to be talking spoilers here. I just don't think it's necessary for these first 3 episodes. And plus, there's probably not much I could give away anyway, but what I'm trying to do here is trying to get those people on the fence. You know what I mean? The people on the fence, yeah, come on this journey with us. The show starts off in a pleasure district. So already this is very, very different than we've seen Star Wars like ever. It's really kind of an interesting way to start the show. Unlike some recent series that have had their premieres, I would say within the last month, Rings of Power, there's an immediate goal presented, and you know exactly what's at stake immediately. And there's character motivation is already there. That's a good thing. Within minutes, it already feels more alive. Like the world feels more alive, and I think that's really it's really well done. And apparently it's harder than you think it would be. But one of the things that the show does use is flashback scenes to sort of, give you extra backstory on one of the characters and, some different motivations and the way that characters interact and stuff. But what's cool about it is that this all takes place on this planet that we've never seen before called Kenari. And the great thing is there are no subtitles. So they're talking. They're conversing with each other, they're making plans. You don't know exactly what's being said. And what that does, at least for me, is it sucks me in, and I'm leaning forward trying to gather what is going on. What is everybody doing here? It's a really it's a great technique. There's a maturity in the way that things are shot, the way that everything is presented, showing a trust in the audience that honestly I didn't know Disney Plus had that sort of, like, I've never seen it. I've never seen them put this much trust in an audience before, and I think that that's great. The set design, the costume design, the way that it's shot, the look of everything, everything feels more mature. It feels lived in. It feels appropriately bleak for some of the story beats that are going on and the way that people are living on this planet. Everything fits in with what we've been shown and nothing sticks out. I think that's one of the things that unfortunately it's just a thing where it's like, oh, well, here's this really bright and uncharacteristically colorful thing in this universe. None of that is here. Everything seems to make sense, which is really nice. The music is good, very atmospheric without drawing attention to itself. I can't say that there are any themes that I'll be humming in the next week or so, but I think the music does its job appropriately. This is one of those things that's kind of hard to really kind of put words to it, but there's an almost on-stage quality to the use of the volume in previous Star Wars shows. Everything feels very tight and constrained. I didn't feel any of that here. I felt like there was room. There was room to breathe. There was room for things to happen. I felt like, I don't know, it just felt more open. And that is, that's the way it's going to look when you use real locations. I don't know if this is an acting thing or if this is more of a directing thing. I kind of think that it may be a directing thing. But all of the actors, their performances are very real. And I don't for 1 second believe that these are actors. They're acting with a comfortability that you would have in a real life situation. There's none of this grandiose stuff, or I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to explain, but I really commend them for giving every actor the ability to just be a person and not just a character, and not just, hey, say these lines and say them very, I don't know. There's something very natural about the way that this story is told, and I really, really enjoy that. Some people might not realize when they're watching it, but I think one of the best things about this story, at least so far, is that if you took all of the Star Wars out of the story, it would still be a very, very compelling drama. And you would be interested to find out what happens to these characters. And I think that's really, really well done. And it's the kind of thing that I've been hoping for and didn't really know it. I guess the only things that I could say that are somewhat negative or maybe a little bit critical are there are moments of levity here and there, but nothing that you would say is just funny. And I think a lot of people expect some fun in their Star Wars, and so far this has been so serious that there really hasn't been room for anything like that. And on top of that, I think the show is definitely as I said, mature. It's a slower paced show. And I think that some people who, I don't know, maybe a little more impatient than others, they may have trouble getting through it just because of the pacing. And I mean, me personally, I think that's great. It's awesome to get a brand new Star Wars show that really feels different than what we've been seeing. I think Tony Gilroy overall has done an amazing job putting this show together. He's crafting a story that's worth telling, and it's a story that we don't know yet, which is kind of cool. And I think that's really, really welcome in this sort of everything kind of feeling the same sort of thing. It's more serious, it's less hokey than any Star Wars that we've had in the last, well, 10 years. So it's kind of one of those things where this is something special, I think. So, Andor, the first 3 episodes, I'm really, really curious about what everybody's feeling about this. Is it too slow? Is it, is it not funny enough? Does it feel just way too glum and serious? I'm kind of curious, because to me, I feel like the story that's being told, it fits and it works, and I'm really digging it. But I just don't know what everybody's thinking. So let me know down below and we will talk about it. So thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.